Here's what I have at the top, right? Is a self-driven life possible without ultimate meaning and purpose? So for me, like, when you believe in a God, when you believe in a creator, when you believe in somebody that's invested in your life and everybody else's life around you, it is easier to have a passion for life, for that meaning and purpose, when there is that belief underpinning it. When you remove that underpinning belief, that passion that comes with, like, pursuing that meaning and purpose, it's almost diluted a bit because it's entirely self-contrived. You have to, as somebody who is irreligious, you have to develop that passion for that meaning. Not only do you have to develop that meaning and purpose, you have to develop a passion to pursue that meaning and purpose entirely on your own. That's a very difficult thing to do. I could sit here and talk to you for an hour about the things I feel very strongly about in terms of, like, where we should be going in terms of society, where I should be going as a person, where the things I should be pursuing as a person, the thing we should all be pursuing as a society. But the passion isn't inherent, right? You don't fall in love with life naturally on your own when you're totally deriving everything that is meaningful yourself. It's a very hard thing to do. Religion comes in and it does it for you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have a great many strong convictions about things. Mm-hmm. But if you were to ask me if I were to pursue those things to their maximal potential every single day of my life, no. Of course I don't. There are plenty of days where I just I'm a piece of shit. There's more days than I'd like to admit where I am just like, I'm looking for the instant gratification. I'm looking for just, like, anything that gets me through the day. But I know the things that I would love to be the greater purpose of my life, of my self-direction. And, like, the passion's not there.
But you're saying the passion's not there because there's no meaning in self-preservation? Or because that there is no afterlife or there is no soul, it doesn't matter?
There's no ultimate grounding meaning to everything. If you know what I'm saying. And I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's harder. It's harder when you have to derive that entirely on your own. There are a million things I would love to do. I'm so self-aware of the limited time that I have on this planet. I'm so self-aware of the things I should be doing, the relationships I should be building with my friends and my family, the projects I want to be pursuing. But without that ultimate grounding purpose, it's really hard to find the passion. I can find the meaning, I can find the purpose, but to find the passion to truly pursue those things to their fullest extent, it's lacking. And again, I don't know if that's necessarily because I'm irreligious, but it seems to me the people who have steadfast convictions in their worldview and who are religious and who aren't, like, crazy fundamentalists, right? Who aren't out there, like, protesting abortion clinics. Like, they just to them, like, I'm here for a purpose. I know that there's a creator. I know that creator cares about me. I know what I believe in. These are the things I'm going to pursue. It comes a lot easier. Somebody who doesn't have that, it seems to me, it's harder to find that passion, to find that conviction, to find, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I see that as a cop-out.
That's a cop-out?
I think religion is a cop-out to finding that passion, purpose, and meaning.
Yeah, but it's a shortcut.
It's not a shortcut if you don't do shit with it. How many people that you know are that religious that don't have any passion or anything, but they have religion? There's just as many people in that same type of boat. So to me, putting that in that same sphere, I don't know if that's true, is like a false positive to me.
I don't know if that's true.
All right, well, let's use our mother, for example. And then counter that, let's use our dad. I love both of them. But I think those two specifically prove my point.
That's anecdotal, but you are right.
It might be anecdotal.
Dad is irreligious. Let's just clarify. Dad is irreligious, and he has a lot more conviction for the things he wants to pursue.
And passion.
You're right. There's a little, every time I talk to him, there's a little tinge of, like, I just keep going because I have to. I mean, there's, like, that little underpinning of, like, nihilism.
But he's acknowledging and he's still deriving some sort of purpose and driving through that.
Mom is super religious. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have that same drive.
None passion whatsoever.
Correct. Does that apply I wouldn't say none.
Hey, it worked. Sorry about that. Just a brief pause there. Just making sure that Audacity was up and running. But anyway, to go back to what we were just talking about, right? Anecdotally, yes.
Anecdotally, yeah.
Dad is irreligious, super passionate person.
That's correct.
Mom is very religious, not as passionate of a person. So I guess my point in saying...
I would say driven.
Sure. My point in saying that, though, is that you don't have to have religion
You're right.
to get passion. I think that's more of a you issue and less of a religion issue. I think that you have to figure out what actually drives you. And I think that's what you've been trying to focus on. That's what you've been doing all this reading and doing all this research for, is to try to figure out that answer.
So let me ask you then, being an irreligious man at this current moment.
Talk to me tomorrow.
And having very strong opinions about yourself and your family and your society.
I think so. Fuckers.
Listen, most of them are all right. How would you describe your passion towards getting things done on a day-to-day basis?
It's a grind. It's what I would call the strenuous life.
A conflict between what? Putting in the self-sacrifice to do the things you want to do? Or what's the grind? Find the grind for me.
The grind, first and foremost, for me, it's the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right?
Okay.
Obviously, I have life, I have shelter, I have water, I have food, right? I have the simple things.
Sure.
But, right, to compound on that, I have to maintain that. I have a mortgage. I have an electric bill. I have to make sure those things are taken care of before I can pursue my passions. So first and foremost, I have to go to work. Work does not derive that sense of passion for me.
I was going to say, I can't imagine you're super passionate about work.
My last position at my job, I was.
Interesting. Okay.
And that was because I had a hand in helping to craft and mold and develop people in their paths in life. Specifically professionally, but some of them personally even.
I admire that that's something that gave you passion. Because I don't know if I would have the patience to do that.
There's a big payoff, my guy.
Okay.
And for every 15 duds, there's a gem, right? You're always going to have
diamond in the rough.
But I also derive just as much satisfaction and victory, if you will, and passion in getting the person that I know doesn't want to do anything I tell them to do, to at least get them on the same page. They might not be the most stellar employee, but I took them from a pile of nothing, of just pushback, of headaches, of blah, blah, blah. I would literally go to my boss and say, put that person on my team. They're not going to be A1 performers, but they're going to get the job done. And the thing that I got out of that specifically was being able to take perspectives of people and reshaping our business to meet what they're trying to do. And it's kind of weird in stating that, but one of the things I would use is I call circular logic. It's probably not the correct term at all, to be clear, right?
Listen,
but it makes sense in my head. Now, the thing is I talk to somebody who does X job. I'm asking them to take 15 more minutes out of their day to do function we'll call C, this function C. All they see is 15 more minutes of bullshit that they have to deal with.
Sure.
Right? What I explain to them, though, is that if you do function C in X job, job Y, which is impacted by function C.
A lot of letters. Okay.
Sure. Now becomes 50 minutes shorter.
Okay, I'm following you.
Because it's 50 minutes shorter, person X, who has to do function C, now just gained 50 more minutes of the day. Right? So yes, I'm asking you to do 15 more minutes of work, but if you do it for the next week or two, you're going to earn back extra time to not have to deal with bullshit. So that was one of the methods, if you will, that I got satisfaction out of, or I got to use to have a more self-fulfilling purpose in my job function. Today, I don't have that. I have a new job. I do. I'm a project manager, so a lot of that is just chasing down people for deadlines and asking why the hell they didn't do something when they were supposed to.
Sure.
Right? But I have to do that to pay the bills. Once I pay the bills, though, I can then focus on what gives me meaning and purpose. And for me right now, it's pursuing this, having these conversations. But secondarily, the other thing that I always have to do is exercise.
Sure.
I go for these crazy long runs when I haven't done any exercising for months. I'll just get off the couch and be like, I'm going to run 9 miles.
Okay, so let's pause right there.
Sure.
Right? Let's expand on that.
Okay.
Because this, to me, is the crux of the argument. And we could take religion out of it if you want. I do think it plays a part.
You can
But
present it how you want.
Let's focus on this point, because I think this is important.